Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Championship Rounds podcast. I'm Andrew, joined by Taj and Dan. And yeah, let's get straight into it in a busy week of boxing. Start off on Saturday with the two world title fights of the weekend. Jaron Ennis against Karen Chukhadzhian 2. What are your thoughts on this, Dan?
Well, I mean, it's not the best fight, but I guess he's earned his rematch by fighting the eliminators when everyone else wouldn't. So, and it's really just can he perform better in the rematch? To me, I mean, he's going to win. It's just can he stop him, which is the real question.
So that'd be pretty embarrassing if he doesn't. To be honest, he should have the first time. And the fact that they're fighting again is kind of insane. But with the IBF, you know, what Karen has fought properly to get back to the title shot, I don't want to see it again.
Well, if Chukhadzhian fights the way that he fought the first time, I mean, he might struggle again. I mean, he has gone 12 rounds him, so you think he would have learned how to at least slightly deal with that. But I mean, yeah, if you can't cut off the ring, it's hard to learn in such a short amount of time. Because look at Chocolatito. I mean, he didn't really learn fully how to properly cut off the ring until we started training with Golovkin. Like, I didn't really elevate him, and he really needed that 115.
Yeah. I hope he's learned. I hope he's learned to do it now. But he hasn't really had an opponent since he fought him the first time to practice on that. He's had come forward fighters, like Villa and Avanesian. He wouldn't have to worry about cutting off a ring.
There was points in that first fight where, if you isolate the clips, it looked really, really bad for Ennis. Like, sort of swinging in a sort of leaping hook from about 6 feet away or whatever, 5, 6 feet away. Chukhadzhian just stepping to the side and boots sort of falling over his own feet and stuff like it. Is some of the clips in isolation. Like, I watched the fight back this week, and yeah, some of the clips in isolation were really, really bad. Like, almost amateurish sort of thing. It's just Chukhadzhian wasn't throwing anything. Like, yeah, he has to stop him for me. He has to.
It was pretty pitiful for him. There's no way that he doesn't do it this time.
Yeah, in the first time, okay, you went the distance, that's fine. All right, it's a style you hadn't had to fight before, and obviously it's tricky. But in the second time, there's no excuses if he doesn't stop
If he
him this
goes the
time.
distance this time, it'll be
If he goes the distance and dominates him, and Jukaizen just shows the craziest chin of all time, fair enough. But if you have trouble with him like you did in the first fight, not necessarily trouble with Jukaizen's offense, but fully establishing his offense and negating Jukaizen's style.
we might have to start talking about his weight or just conversations about him. Period. Honestly,
Obviously,
he is a
he's
big dude though.
yeah, he should move up to 154. But obviously, he is a very good fighter, but there's clear holes in his game, and we saw it on display big against Jukadian. Obviously, when a guy doesn't come to fight, doesn't really come to win, doesn't do much. Yeah, sure, but at the end of the day, it's down to you to do something about that.
He's got to
Yeah,
show up.
I think he should move to 154. If I'm being honest.
I honestly
Yeah,
thought he was
well-
going to. I honestly thought he was going to do it when this fight was announced because I didn't really think that he was going to want to fight him again. But I guess he wants to keep the belt a little bit longer.
because I mean he's a really big guy, and not even that. I mean 154 is just so much better than 147. 147 is not good at the moment.
No.
I think of all the great fights that are there for him at 154.
It will make him a lot more money as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let's say like no one did want to fight at 147. Like 154 has been a division for a long time where everyone has fought each other, and he will get the fights at that way.
We could probably finally get him versus Ortiz. It's really funny knowing that Jerron Ennis is a champion at the division below Ortiz with their size difference.
Yeah, it is really interesting. It's really funny thinking that he used to be a junior welterweight.
He was like, what, his last one was what, against the Orozco. He was huge. There's no way he should have made 140.
That's crazy.
Him probably making 140 all those times is probably what led up to those like health complications when he was doing it in 147. Because there's no reason why he should have been able to fight that well.
Yeah, like I mean, the only reason he probably could make 140 is because obviously he's young and he must have like a really high metabolism.
But now,
Other than that, there's no way he could have been able to make 140. Obviously, he turned pro when he was like 18, so. But he was there for a long time after that.
It's crazy. So yeah, I take it we're all picking sorry, not Chukhadzhian. That'd be funny. Ennis by stoppage, yeah.
yeah, like 8 to 10.
Like I just want Chukhadzhian to actually come and like try and win
Try
this
to
time because he's been fighting all these eliminators to obviously he wants his fight, wants his shot. I mean, he might as well come and try this time. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. Fighting all these guys to get the shots to come do nothing.
I think they're probably gambling on Ennis vacating.
Yeah, maybe. Well, you know, he got the fight. Might as well come and try.
Yeah, and then he'll probably end up getting another shot at some point because
Yeah, because if you come and do nothing again, who's going to give you another shot? Like if you try, like maybe put up a good fight, then maybe you might get other shots down the line because people appreciate effort.
And with the state of the division right now, you can always win a couple of like eliminators. Just get for like guys like Harry Scar can easily get eliminators. Like, yeah, it's not a good division right now.
Yeah, because I like we're saying like, oh yeah, Boots has been 12 rounds with him, but Chukhadzhian's also been 12 rounds with Boots, so he should have learned something, or picked up something that he could at least try to do in the rematch.
Like actually throw his hands.
Because I mean, you don't go 12 rounds with someone without learning at least anything.
You know, in the chief support, Jesse Rodriguez faces former WBC light flyweight champion Pedro Guevara. In a fight that I actually quite like. This fight, I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good name for Rodriguez. Guevara has been at world level damn near a decade now. I don't think there's any real doubt about who's going to win this fight. but that's more because I think Rodriguez is just that good. Like he is elite, elite of the elite. But yeah, and Guevara is just a very good world level fighter.
Oh, this is like, I mean, probably the best fight of the weekend. I mean, I like the Keyshawn fight, but like at world level, elite level, this is the best fight of the weekend. I mean, this is like probably the best Guevara that he could be fighting, to be honest, because he had that really long like stint of nothing after he lost to Kenjiro, and before he, in between that, and then when he lost to Quadras, and then just being Maloney in his last fight.
I think it's gonna be a pretty technical fight for most of it.
But
Sex.
I mean, the problem is, how do you prepare for Bam?
You don't.
How can you prepare for someone who can do the stuff that he does? I mean, the only one who can kind of do the stuff that he does right that way is Chocolatier, but Chocolatier is old, and well, Bam is more explosive. He's faster,
And the
quicker feet
Southpaw.
too, and a southpaw.
He's just pretty damn good.
Because like, if you watch his fights, I mean, like he does get hit a lot. Can you get hit for 12 rounds by those other punches?
I
Because
personally don't think so.
like, if you go through like even his like fights against the elite guys, he's been stopping guys that have never been stopped before.
Especially at 35 years old.
That is crazy. He's born in this century and he's this insane of a fighter. It's pretty generational, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just elite of the elite. Like the angles, the footwork, the jab, the just everything. People in that Sonny Edwards fight, a lot of people sort of thought that it was just Bam's athleticism that sort of got him over the line there. That's a very basic analysis of it that I've seen from a few people. But he comprehensively outskilled Sonny as well. That's like he's better in every single aspect than Sonny Edwards. Like he's like comprehensively beating up these guys. It's just madness. Like
Yeah,
that's
because
sort of
even
24,
the
25.
like even the older guys that he's fighting, that people are like, oh yeah, he's fighting these older guys. Who cares? Like, they watched like where he would probably be them in their primes.
With his
Maybe
style.
not. I mean, you could argue Estrada. I wouldn't argue any other opponent.
Yeah, no, Rangwasa, he's just too slow. Um, Quadras, yeah, it would be pretty fun to see that fight with Quadras in his like prime, but it would still be I think Bam would still win. I think maybe Estrada would beat him in his prime. You see him off 2 years, gave Bam his only knockdown suffered, even though that's almost the only thing he did like in the whole fight because he got
Yeah,
beat
but
on before and after that.
then he stopped him in the next round.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's like he went through that experience that some like fighters have to go through at some point, and he just he's not even hurt from it. I feel like I've seen him hurt like without him like getting put down on the floor. Compared to that, he like enjoyed that. He said like in post fight interviews and stuff that he like his wanted that to happen, like to be knocked down, to know what that feels like. He just didn't care, and then he just stopped the shot at the next round.
Yeah, I mean, might as well have it happen. I mean, nearly everyone is going to get dropped up at some point. and it's how you bounce back.
These like
And
top
he
fighters,
did it great.
they want to know what that feels like to be like on the brink of like losing, so they can like not be afraid of losing, but like make sure like do everything they can to make sure that they don't.
Yeah, because it's a once you know you've been through it and can get through it. I mean, it's fine. Like that's a mental block that they've overcome. That they know they can get through in the future and future fights.
And it would be someone like Estrada to drop him to, regardless if he's been out the ring for 2 years. He's just still that damn good, which makes
Yeah,
the win again just like still impressive.
Yeah, because I mean Estrada, like he probably still beat everyone else in the division. Maybe not. Oh, Martinez would be an interesting fight because he throws so many punches, but maybe we could.
He can't be hurt. He can't be hurt though.
He can.
See, Ioka, who doesn't even punch that hard at this weight, is like making him fold over from body shots and stuff.
Yeah, and then imagine like a more active Estrada who like has like full timing back. Imagine the amount of counter punching opportunities he's gonna have against Martinez.
Yeah.
That'd be a great fight.
Martinez won't help with the allegations though, because he is 34 now, isn't he? Maybe 34.
It's weird to see that he doesn't look that old.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. I'm joking, by the way. Because I know certain people would take that seriously. I'm joking.
You are a jackass.
One thing about BAM that's quite annoying right now is this talk of a new app
Oh man.
that's mainly just being pushed by sort of all the zone people that don't actually know much about boxing. Can we just stop that, please? Because it's not realistic. And stop saying you want to fight a 35-year-old anyway when your two weight classes apart as it is. And he's likely going to be up at featherweight at that point. Just stop.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. By the time Bam gets to any weight that's even feasible for them to fight at, Inoue won't be fighting anymore. And it's a stupid fantasy fight that the casuals lead up because they know the names, but they don't understand how weight classes work and like size. They look at the height and they're like, "Oh man, they're close in height. That means they could fight." That's not how that works.
Bam was smaller against Estrada. He was a smaller man in that ring.
It was weird to see that he was like significantly bigger than like Rungvisai though. He looked huge against Rungvisai. But yeah, no. He needs to fight in his own area of weight class. Same with Inoue. He needs to stop doing this fantasy fight. It's goofy. It's just a lazy topic. So you can talk about anything about Bam, these fights around his actual weight, but you just want to not talk about his skills, not talk about like realistic fights. You want him to just fight the closest, biggest name.
A lot of the issue is
lazy.
with that they have no idea about the guys in his weight class. Like you're not telling me that like people like Ade Oladipo know who Philomene Cafu is.
Yeah, they'll never know who that is.
Like this is my point.
They won't even
like,
keep track of the champions, let alone like actual contenders that could be champions.
Yeah, and the other problem is how many views or clicks is a Fumilele Cafu gonna get you compared to it anyway?
Yeah,
None.
it's stupid.
If you're gonna talk about any fight, that's someone not in his weight class. I mean, maybe Nakatani. I mean, at least they're only one weight class apart.
And they should have fought already.
that,
So
yeah,
like that would
has
literally
been
be
Like they've at least
Topic.
been in weight classes at the same time.
They honestly should have fought already. I don't know why they fight for that flyweight title.
The second fighters won't fight second fighters, but we know this, don't we?
Yeah.
On this undercard, Raymond Ford returns at super featherweight for the first time since losing to Nick Ball against Capo Gonzalez in a fight that I just think it's quite clearly ease yourself into the weight type fight. It's tune up, which is deserved. He's coming off a loss into a new division. It is what it is, but
I do like Gonzalez, but he's been in. He's just his defense is pretty bad. Like he's been in like multiple list fights, like from these pro box fights he had, and he gets hit like way too much.
I mean, he's not bad. Like, he can do a bit of a lot of things. Like, he can box, he can fight. Obviously, we saw his fights against Cesena and Castaneda last year. And well, I actually don't mind it, to be honest. I mean, they could have picked a lot worse opponent for him to fight in a new way.
Especially with the promotion he's with. They could have given them some losing record Bulgarian instead. But...
yeah, I don't mind the fight. It is what it is, but like we all know that Ford's going to win this fight pretty comfortably. That's what I'd say.
I think Ford will. It's weird to like predict predict a fight when someone's moving up in weight because you don't know if it's actually like the weight that like affected them or they just like regressed. I feel like it's the weight with Ford though, so I think he'll get like a weight stoppage maybe.
Yeah, he looked awful in that fight week against Bull, especially with the British Boxing Board of Controls. They have like weight checks throughout fight week that you have to make, and like he was going up and down weight all week trying to make weight for the weight checks. Like he looked awful all throughout that fight week.
It's funny to think that he honestly probably deserved the fight anyway.
It was close. That's like one that genuinely could have gone either way. Like
I hate the yeah. I hope it is just the way because I do like Ford like as a fighter. I do like watching.
Look, he should be good at 130. He's a really good fighter. He's going to win at one time. That's not saying much because 130 is not very good, but he'll win at one time and he'll look good.
Probably Roach's title.
He'll be, if he gets a world title in the next title shot in the next year, he'll be the best 130 fighter in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have to think about that and see how he looks on Saturday. But
if he looks how I think he's gonna look, like with his skill that he has and not being so drained.
Chat box work. Yeah, probably. They probably would be, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because I mean, 130 is not very good. Like even like just his first fight, if he looks good, I'd probably still say he's the best. Obviously, he won't be ranked the best because of the opponents he before, but as a fighter, the best.
Yeah, because Navarrete is not the same. There's no telling if he'll even beat Valdez. Kakachi's apparently not even have his belt for that much longer. Roach, about Roach, and then Foster is also not going to have his belt for much longer either. Well, apparently he still wants to fight at 130.
No, he should be moving up. I'm not counting him in my discussion because he's not.
I kind of blocking it out. I really hope that
he's not a super featherweight to me anymore. He's a lightweight. Move up.
You
don't need to have no unifications. Move up.
He's almost a super lightweight at this point. To me,
He won't move up and he'll end up getting beat by someone that's not very good. That's what's going to happen.
oh, what? You think he's gonna wait for Rikishi?
Well, right.
That's the only other person he could fight at this point with that rematch, I assume. That context of rematch, he has to just fight Rikishi or vacate.
Not like they'll give him like Andres Cortez or someone.
They better not give him a title shot.
No, but like
They better not.
he'll fight someone like that and get beat when like he's clearly better than them, but he's just trained and he can't do anything.
Look, maybe it's a
Right.
case of he'd rather drain himself and fight in a worse weight class than move up and fight in 135, which has a lot more talent,
Significantly better.
and that he probably
At
can't
least
beat
he
a
get
lot of them.
more. I was say he get more money if he went and fought these lightweights, but then he wouldn't be risking his health some more. I keep trying to drain himself. He's been wanting to move up for multiple fights, and now he's claiming he
Yeah,
still wants to
for
stay
like a
there.
year. I wasn't at the point you were just gonna get your belt back,
Yeah, I was
or
like, that's the only reason he's
avenge
gonna
the
stay there.
loss, then move up. Yeah. Anyway, I like this fight. I like this
Yeah.
fight, and probably like the most interesting on the card fight that this week, possibly. Can't remember a lot of the undercard fights, but I've been really interested in watching this fight. But Ford will win.
Yeah. There's a couple of notable names on this undercard. Ammo Williams is back in a 8
For the
rounder.
bill.
Not really that interesting. Who else is back?
Oh, you know,
Khalil Kai. Oh god.
look, you know, Ammo's opponent. You know, he had a fight in July on a Papping undercard. That's not on box rec, and he got stopped
Oh, there we go.
in the fourth round
Oh,
by what's his face? He got stopped by Gleb Bashki in the fourth round.
I remember that
I watched
fight.
it.
Yeah,
I watched
I
it
remember
earlier.
that fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a two-man card. I think it was just that fight and Pappin on the card. And Pappin's fight is on box rec. His fight's not on box rec.
Fantastic website you got there.
And he got stopped in the fourth round. Like badly hurt in the third round, then stopped by right hand in the fourth round
Yeah,
It's a
I
bad
remember
by
moment.
Gleb Bashki.
And the fall from grace to go all the way down to before the bill. It's
Yeah.
Khalil Ko's on this against Mansour Gallegos. He's a super middleweight that's just kind of getting stopped by Checo 18 months ago. So yeah, that's not a good opponent. Even though I do rate Khalil Ko. It's really Ernesto Mercado is a very, very good fighter actually. Looking at this card, fighting Jesus Sriracha. That's a decent opponent as well. Sriracha's been on or had a couple of good wins on Pro Box, just beat Palmetto on Pro Box. So yeah, but I think Ricardo's an extremely good prospect, like extremely, extremely good.
See, look, Pro Box. They keep getting you opportunities.
They do. They really do. Um, but yeah, man. Also on this card, Zachary Moses, who's an exceptional amateur, making pro debut. Beat Camille Moto, who's an exceptional amateur. Zachary Moses, so watch out for him. Yeah, that's about it on that card. Friday night.
No, what weight is he fighting at? Is he lightweight?
Zachary Moses,
Or is he going to be at 130? Because he was a lightweight. Yeah, he's lightweight. I'm not sure.
130. He's fighting 130, but he's only about 18, so he'll probably end up at 135.
Yeah, he'll be there soon.
talking about weight, Gustavo Lemos is fighting Keyshawn-Davis on Friday night, and literally about 3 or 4 minutes ago,
Well, as we're recording.
as we're recording this, Gustavo Lemos has missed weight by 6 pounds. 6
That
pounds.
is insane.
It's not like he hasn't done this before. He did it for the. That's how he lost his IBF mandatory spot at 135 pounds before this. But yeah, this is crazy because I gave Lemos a very good chance in this fight. Now I don't.
I remember the last time someone blew weight, they got a first round knockout.
Look, I mean,
It's a bit different.
it's always I always look at it as either like it's going to help you because you're not trained as much, or you've just not really been training.
Or you're gonna get your
That
body like broken.
Look, that's what happens when you bring fights down. I mean, his last couple of fights have been at 140.
And look how good he
No.
performed
Yeah,
against
but he
Ennis.
didn't make
Definitely.
140.
Look, I'm not blaming these guys for him missing weight. This is all on Lemos, but you know, bringing guys down, never a good idea. Like that is just insane. I don't even know if this fight will happen. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. This fight should be called off. Missing weight by 6 pounds is ridiculous.
And he's not gonna try to like go down anymore. If he can't make even 140, then
No, he's not.
gonna. He can't do it. He physically
It's a
probably
waste.
can't do it.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time him even trying. Like it's gonna be. They're gonna even do like a hydration clause tomorrow. We can't be over a certain weight, or call the fight off, or he's gonna have to
Really, if it does
pay
happen,
a lot of money.
If it does happen, I'm really confused on what my prediction will change to. Because if someone like misses weight, obviously it seems like their body is gonna not gonna be able to take a certain amount of punches like as good if they're obviously not in shape. But Davis still doesn't punch that hard. So like I don't know if my decision prediction
Well,
for Davis is gonna.
Maybe he's gonna be a little cautious now because he's gonna have a giant next to him in the ring. Like, well, obviously, I predicted him to go the distance. Still think it will go the distance, but
it's just not. He's not that hard of a puncher for me to.
yeah. Well, this was the fight I was looking forward to most this week. Now it's not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well done, Gustavo Lemos.
I thought Lemos was gonna win this fight.
I didn't, but
I thought Lemos like. I don't
Gave
know.
him a
I thought
chance.
his pressure would be too much, but like now I'm like, nah.
No, he's too.
Thing is, like, I'm just looking at the footage now. Lemos's eyes are sunken in that. Like, it looks like he tried to make the
6
weight.
pounds over.
His eyes are sunken. He like looks a bit skeletal in the
It
face.
was 6.5 actually. It was 6.5 on top of it.
6.5. Jesus Christ. Man.
Well, now I want him to get stopped.
141.4. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That would have made him eligible to fight Arturo Gatti or Mickey Ward.
He does look like. I'm looking at the footage too. He looks bad.
Well, we'll see if the fight goes ahead. I really think it should, but I mean, Keyshawn's in his hometown, and all three brothers are on the card. Don't really think he wants to not fight.
Is there a lightweight fighter on the card that he can like drag an opponent in for? Do you think he should honestly just like pull the Abdullah Mason fight and make him fight Johan Vasquez or something? I don't know.
I mean, that could work.
Who knows?
Probably a better idea than finding someone who's just missed weight by 6.5 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But I just mentioned him. Dylan Mason, unbelievable prospect, one of the best prospects in the sport. Returns. Um, Absolutely crazy that he's only 20 years old. Has been knocking everyone out of um yeah, honestly, I think they're being very, very conservative with his matchmaking. Like, I think he's like ready for a guy that's sort of a former title challenger or something like that. Like, I think he's ready for 10 or 12 rounders right now. I think he's that good. Like,
He probably is, but they don't want to take it. They don't want to like go too far because of his age, but his like experience in the ring. He fights like he's like 5 years older than he really is.
he's ridiculous.
He's that damn good.
Like,
Well,
they,
I mean, they're familiar. They're familiar with this guy anyway.
He's like a prospect with like contender qualities.
Mm.
I think they
'Cause,
should target like a Nicholas Waters fight for him, or a Nicholas fight end of this year, or early next year, sorry. Or Jojo Diaz, he's fighting this week. Someone like that.
I feel like he needs someone to give him like rounds. I feel
I mean, you never
Yeah,
know.
Jojo Diaz.
like he's been like knocking out people like quick as hell. I don't think he's
I
ever
mean,
been past like the 6th round before. Yeah, no.
I mean, Vasquez did go the distance for Charlie Suarez. Well, actually, that was the last on that card. That was the last time Abdullah Mason went the distance. Actually, coincidental. Yes.
Yeah, for like over a year, he hasn't gone past the third, fourth round. Like, he's been like he's just been running over everybody with no like resistance. He needs a fighter with resistance.
Which is why I think Jojo Diaz is perfect for it for next year and the 10 rounder.
Yeah, but Jojo Diaz would probably miss weight fighting a lightweight.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's meant to fight 140, isn't it? Like,
I don't think Top Rank are gonna risk that.
yeah, no.
To be honest, considering the matchmaking that they're doing, like they're fine for a 20-year-old, but he's just so good. Like he's so good. Because I mean, Charlie Suarez, he's been top one in the final round, and Abdullah Mason's probably just gonna make easy work of him
yeah,
because he's that good. Like he went the distance for Charlie Suarez, who he's pretty decent. But Abdullah Mason's just a special talent. Because it's one thing to develop a fighter, but and then take it slow. But what's he learning at the end of the day? We already know that he's great and he can stop these guys easily.
Yeah, they definitely need to give him a bigger challenge.
That's why I like Golden Boys matchmaking with their prospects because they're smart matchmaking, but their opponents they always challenge you.
Might even drop that ass.
Yeah, they might even drop you or hurt you,
Or beach.
but it's good matchmaking. and you learn something. It's why I hate British prospect matchmaking. Waste of
Oh,
time against bloody journeymen. Like, yeah, some journeymen, like, maybe they choose to fight, but a lot of the time they don't.
like the British way of developing prospects is horrific for the most part.
Yeah, because why do you think a lot of them just fail even before world level? Because of the way they're developed against the fighters that they're being matched up against.
Like the vast majority of times, um, going in with guys that are literally there to not throw a punch. Like it's just it's pointless. Like what are you learning from that?
Yeah, because
Because you're going,
we know how journeymen work here. I mean, they tell us how they work here. Like, because a lot of them, they're like, yeah, we're just there just to see what they can do and not really do a lot. And maybe if they really feel like it, they might give you some type of work. Like we've seen a couple of times where they've had good fights against journeymen, but most of the time it's just not. They're just there. Get stopped. Don't make the prospect look too bad, and then you get more chances. And they'll be out again next week against another prospect.
I was I was at a small ball show earlier this year. Um, and this is quite a regular thing. Like, um, I, I was there sort of 5 o'clock in the afternoon, as it's starting. Second fight of the night, there's a journeyman with upwards of 50 losses fighting a 2-0 kid. And like, I remember like second round, the journeyman lands a very clean left hook, and it sort of staggers the kid, the prospect. End of the round, the promoters ran round to the journeyman's corner and started screaming at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like all this. Um, and like then the next round, the journeyman shows up. Like, and that's a quite regular thing. Like promoters just going around and kicking off at the journeyman's corner, saying like, "Why are you throwing punches? Like you're not here to throw punches." Like it's just the ridiculous way that we match people in this country, and it's just not good. You
Yeah,
don't
I mean, like,
develop. You don't. You're going at your own pace. You're going. You're not getting punched back. Like it's just
yeah,
it's silly.
like I respect them, and I don't mind them being matched up. Like, if you want to stick them in with a journeyman, sure, but after their fifth fight or something like that, it's just a waste of time. First few fights, like fine, fight a journeyman, cool, whatever. But after that, it's just a waste of time. It's pointless. It's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah. Um. I don't know how we started talking about that for Abdullah Mason, but what else is on this top rank card? There is if I can load box rec. Troy Isley
Troy Isley,
is fighting Tyler Howard. Um, Tyler Howard looks like just a club fighter. If I'm being honest, he hasn't really fought
look,
anyone.
I've seen, I've seen Tyler Howard fight, and his last fight, uh, I thought he lost his last fight. Who did he fight? He fought fought Raul Solomon on an ODX card, and I thought he lost. Some Filipino guy. Like, he dropped him in the first fight. I mean, first round, but then he got like completely outboxed and outworked after that.
So yeah, this isn't really good for Troy Isley, apparently.
Because he lost to Ian Green too, didn't he? I mean, he's a guy like he's kind of the opposite of an American fighter, even though he's American. Like really tall, straight up. When he's up close, like he's really like strains his legs out, squares up. It's really bad, and he struggles with anyone who has a slight bit of athleticism and who can box. Like the Green absolutely dominated him and outboxed him. Troy he's going to dominate this guy. Oh, and against Russell, and he nearly got stopped in the final round. He was saved by the bell.
Brilliant.
Troy he can't punch, but this guy's not good, and he has a terrible defense. Really bad defense.
I like Troy as a prospect, but like I don't know, man. Like it's just the lack of power. Like technically, I think he's quite good.
Oh yeah, he's a really skilled fighter. He just doesn't have power, which it's fine, but not a lot of. Like most fighters who get to the top, at least have some sort of power.
Yeah.
Like fighters can get to the top. We've seen it before without power, but they have to be like special fighters.
Especially middleweight. Especially
But
middleweight now.
middleweight is not good at the moment, which is in his favor.
The way it can open up, like he can definitely do something. But like, yeah.
Yeah, because like if he wants to get a stoppage again and look impressive, this is the opponent to do it against. If he wants to, like, cause he could easily just outbox this guy easily and dominate him.
The only other notable name on this top rank card, I can't. Salim, I guess. Stupid name. He's returning for the first time in what, nearly 2 years? Over 2 years? Nearly 2 years, about 18 months since he fought Sam Goodman in June 2023 on the Zoe Campo undercard. He's fighting Derlin Hernandez Gallardo, who just got stopped in 2 rounds by Christopher Diaz. So it's not a brilliant opponent. It is what it is. But yeah, Aline's back in the mix after running Sam Goodman very, very close, I thought.
Yeah, this is just a comeback fight. He's gonna stop this guy. He was stopped by Misael Vasquez as well in a round in 2021.
Yeah. But he's a good fighter, Aline. Like, if he moves to featherweight, there's guys at featherweight the top rank have, like, there's a lot of fights for him. And it's good to have him back in the mix, I think.
Oh yeah, this is it's fights at 127-pound catch weight as well, which I didn't know that. I thought it was at featherweight.
You can't read too much into that. Like, it is what it is. But
No, that's fine. They were both barely over the featherweight limit anyway.
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, he's a decent fighter, Aline. There are fights for him definitely. Now, Saturday, also on Saturday, at the same time as the Ennis card, there's a Pro Box card. They're moving Pro Box card to Saturdays now. The Nicholas Flaus main event, well, the opponent pulled out of that. So, God knows who he's in the fight. They need to find someone quickly because the weigh-in's tomorrow. So God knows what's going to happen there. But on the undercard, this Jojo Diaz fights Abraham Montoya. And you know, like, if you go onto BoxRec, like, it has the little green and red sort of dots for like wins and losses in the last 6.
Yeah.
The combined wins in both of these two last sort of 12 fights combined is 3.
Yeah, which means Montoya has 2 of them because JoJo's only won 1.
Yeah. Montoya, though, I thought actually gave Mark Castro quite a good fight early on in April. I thought he won a few rounds of that fight early. Lost to Musa Ghulam, who's a good fighter. Cortez, who's an okay fighter. But ironically, I thought, Jojo Diaz, who's coming off a stoppage loss, the only stoppage loss of his career against Oscar Duarte, I thought that was a good performance. I thought he was out of boxing Duarte quite early on in that fight. I thought that was a really good performance by Diaz.
Yeah, I can't really remember the fight too much, but I do remember getting stopped. I mean, obviously the cards weren't very favorable to JoJo, but that doesn't really always tell the whole story.
I think like through the first sort of 5 or 6, like Diaz was up. I think I had it like 3-1, 3-2 Diaz or something, and then Duarte's size, strength, speed just took over.
Then he started getting down.
Yeah. But early on, like that was a good performance from Diaz.
No, I just don't know what to expect from JoJo. I have no idea.
Like he's apparently been in rehab. But who knows, man?
I don't know. Like he could look terrible, like he has done, or he could look good, like he used to. I just don't know. I mean, I don't think he will look good, but he'll probably do enough to win just because he's better. But I just, outside of the stuff, outside of the ring stuff, plays a big part as well.
And yeah, who knows? Who knows? It's Jojo Diaz. He's been consistently inconsistent over the past sort of 5 years. Like he's had a weird career, and he's just sort of 1 win in his last 6. He's only won 2 of his last 8. Like it's just really really weird.
I wouldn't even be surprised if this ended up being a draw.
It would be a very Jojo Diaz thing for it to be a draw.
It would. It would. It's not like he's never had a draw. He drew Rakimov, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he lost to Rakimov, but yeah. Tonight in Montreal, Islater Glazier, one of the best super middleweights in the world. Defends his IBO title against Petro Ivanov in the Montreal Casino. I'm pretty sure Glazier is gonna, deal with it enough quite comfortably pretty early on in the first sort of 5 or 6.
Yeah, I watched. I think Ivanov's last fight. I watched his last fight. I think he got hurt in one of the rounds. I can't remember. But he's gonna get knocked out because Iglesias is just too good.
Yeah. Powerful.
Like really good.
Yeah. Really, really like he's a fantastic fighter. Like I think this is an IBF eliminator, the number 2 spot. So like that's at least something for him. Like because no one's gonna fight him. He needs to get an eliminator spot, or they need to bring William Skull over for him. Like no one's gonna want to fight him unless like any sort of big name is not gonna go near him. They need to get him that belt. I also think
Yeah.
his time's coming to an end at 168 as well because he looks massive.
Yeah, that jump to 175 is just it's something though. That's one of the tougher jumps in boxing from 168 to 175.
Yeah,
Because
so
there's
it's not
some
just the
real
jump in itself; it's
yeah
the well, you've got guys that should be fighting in the sort of 180 division having to fight 175. If that makes sense.
yeah because like a lot of light heavyweights are guys that are like just too small for cruiserweight, but too big for light heavyweight, but would rather boil down to 175 than go up to cruiserweight.
Yeah,
Like a lot of these guys, they'd be perfect in the old cruiserweight 190-pound limit.
yeah, it is what it is. I don't see that. But, on this Iglesias undercard, um, there's a couple of interesting fighters. Stephen Butler's back. Um, After getting stopped by Patrice Volner in June. Um, Butler can always sell a ticket, which means he'll always get fights. And with the either Tiger, they like always get guys good ranking. So like he's always going to be sort of in and around the sort of top 10, and like he's always going to be there for voluntary defense of someone, like especially in a very very poor middleweight division. Um, Wilkins Matthew, who I think is a sensational prospect. I really, really, really like him at light heavyweight. He's back. Not a very good opponent, but it is what it is. John Arobio, unbeaten Colombian who can punch at lightweight. He got a bronze in the U4 Championship. Very good fighter. He's actually fighting an unbeaten fighter. Jacopo Colli, who I believe, yeah,
It's sad you have to get excited for a fighter to fight an undefeated fighter now,
yeah,
or just a good fighter. Period.
just boxing matchmaking, though, isn't it? This Colli though, he beat Matthew King, who's sort of an area level fighter from the UK. I think I've seen him fight somewhere. I think I've seen him fight somewhere, like live. Um, yeah, I've seen him fight in Tor, Dean White, I think.
Yeah, they're
Um,
setting for this card. When does it start? This is today as we're recording this, 4 p.m. So like 5.5 hours.
yeah. Um,
You'll be there.
you would have seen the results probably if you listened to this. There's a really interesting guy on this undercard. Dimitri Arsenal. He's 28. He's fighting Matias Carlos Ezra and Rudea or Ruda.
It's Rueda. He's the dude who had that.
Fort Valdez, yeah.
And Liam Wilson.
Yeah.
But he's super inactive.
He is super active, but Arsenal. I know, especially Todd, you don't like me when I do this.
When you bring
But
up amateur stuff.
but he has wins over Sofian Omaha. I've got a list of this somewhere, but I've lost it. Lazaro Alvarez, Andy Cruz, like Sight Dakulu, Batikaziev,
Oh, it's still good.
December Erdenbach, Enrico La Cruz,
Okay.
Mirzizbak Mirzakiliov, Hector Luis Garcia, Kanat Turkanabayev. Like these, just look through his amateur record. Just the amount of guys beat Mick Conlon. Like the amount of guys he's beaten in the amateurs is ridiculous. If you just look through his record.
Well, I see now he beat MJ multiple times. Kaisha Ashfaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, he is a ridiculous amateur.
I just need him to show it in the program. That's all.
Yeah, like, and hopefully this is the opponent to do it. But he genuinely was like one of the better amateurs of the last sort of generation.
Yeah, because if you can beat all of those fighters in the amateurs and you transition well to the pros, yeah, I mean, he's going to be really good.
He is 28, right? So it's sort of a worry that he's got this amateur style, but like, I hope he can transition properly. I really do. Like, he's a really, really good fighter.
Yeah, that's always the question with these like great amateurs. You fight for a long time. Can you transition to the pro game?
What's a name like that? I thought he was Russian, but he's from Belarus.
That's practically the same thing anyway.
Chill.
But like, politically, they're so aligned, it's like practically the same thing.
That's enough with the politics this week.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not much else. Luca Plantic, who's a highly rated the WBC at 168 fights on Friday at your call, live on Box Nation. He's actually fighting an Argentinian who got an upset win earlier this year against the Turkish kid in London. So that it looks like a journeyman that he's fighting, but he's actually the WBC 15 front super middle that he's fighting. So yeah, he's an interesting guy. He battered Jack Cullen earlier this year. Yeah, but apart from that, there's not much else this week. Don't know if there's anything you two want to add.
No. It should be good. I'm annoyed by that Lemos. That Lemos.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know, on that Box Nation card with Luca Plantage, Frankie Davey is fighting on there, and Todd Rose. Remember Boxing Connoisseur, the Instagram account?
Yeah.
Yeah, he runs that account.
Nice.
He didn't love Island prospects.
Yeah.
Christ, yeah, nothing.
He did go on Love Island, yeah. But we will be there. I mean, I'm really happy that Box Nation is back. Not as back as it was back in the day, but it's back.
But Fire Kuden against the man Hussein fight should be quite good as well. It's a Commonwealth eliminator with Feather. Sort of the Commonwealth silver thing. That should be a good fight. But yeah, there's not much else. But yeah, I have no idea how I've made it through this episode. My throat is an absolute agony. But all the links to everything are in the description. Yeah, thanks for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next week with a review show. But yeah, thanks for listening.
See you in episode 17.